How's it going, everybody? Here again, DNA Golf and Life Podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being one of the followers of DNA Golf Instruction, everything we have to offer. As always, look for DNAGolfinstruction.com. Go to that website if you have any questions. If you live in West Michigan, want in-person golf instruction, online lessons is also an option nowadays. And liking to do more group and corporate type of lessons and presentations. I think it makes it fun. So that's sort of the agenda I'm pushing this early spring to try to get you businesses and managers and people that are on the executive level to think about golf as a way as team building. And I really want to push that, see where that goes. So, great weekend. Enjoyed hanging out with my kiddos. It's been cold here in Michigan this past week. And after a great Masters week, then it just froze for us. It got really cold. So not a lot of golf. I hate teaching when it's below 50 degrees. I will do it, for the right person. But I really don't want to be out there when it's below 50, layered up and having to have you work on anything from grip to anything else. So it's been below 50. So kind of holding off for one more week and rescheduling some of the lessons that were scheduled. But still ready, still excited, and do have my my indoor area to work in when I'm at Blythefield. So still have that to utilize for you. Some of you people that really want to get off to a good start this spring and want to start now, even when it's cold. So really excited about that. Had the kids this weekend and we rode bikes even though it was cold, and we did get a chance to get to the range I think once over the last week. So. Got to do that. Got to get them out at least once. Really enjoying the bike rides, the dog walks. You might even hear my dog barking here in a second. Forgot to put her up, but we're just going to let her hang out. So if you hear some barking, it's probably her, barking at a squirrel or something that she sees or hears. So I do apologize for that, but she's part of the family. So just like my kids, sometimes you got to deal with that now. But pretty soon we will have a indoor space that's sort of protected from noise and more like a studio. So, but great weekend. Enjoyed watching golf. RBC Heritage, the PGA Tour event this week, and Matt Fitzpatrick, wins in a playoff against Scotty Scheffler. And this is the second win for Matt this year. Harbortown, the course where Heritage, with RBC Heritage was played. My dad took me to that facility. I've been there a few times. Have pictures in the downstairs that I could pull up of me and him, and the famous lighthouse that sits on the golf course, and that's the main logo. So get to reminisce a little bit watching. Been in a lot of those bunkers. They look a lot different now than they did 20 years ago when my dad took me. But it's good to see a course and to recognize it and to have an experience there. And I'm telling you, man, Matt is on a tear. Really the last 5-6 weeks, he just seems to be in the running, in the chase, playing well, in contention. And ironically enough, he's one of those distance guys where, a few years ago, he calculated that he needed to hit it farther based on the data and the way he was studying his stats in regards to the PGA Tour. And he figured out some ways to do it. I don't mind these guys searching for distance because they have precision, they've mastered ball contact, and they can do several things with the golf ball, and their short games are really, really good. And he's been good ever since a junior golfer. So I see a stronger hand. I see a little more forward press even with the driver. I see a little more inside path. So these are all little things that I think, helped him number-wise, to sort of control the golf ball and get more distance when he needed to. And he held off Scotty. Scotty was coming. No lead is safe with that guy in the field, it seems. But, winning in a playoff, especially with all the negativity in the crowd that seems to not be going away, these USA chants, USA, I can't stand it. If we won every once in a while, yeah, maybe. But they're dominating us, man. So it's like we're the bad team of a rival that always loses. Right, here in Michigan, I don't want you Michigan State fans to get mad at me, but traditionally speaking, it can get nasty, right? Can kind of get upset at the fact that you lose all the time. We don't have it as bad here in Michigan with Michigan State and Michigan, but there are other instances where it is pretty bad, and it's just so uncalled for. The guy's been on our tour for a while, which says something. He's on our soil. We should have a little more hospitality for a guy who's won twice this year and is playing very well. So I don't hear it with Rory. You're not doing that when Rory's winning. Or didn't hear it last week at the Masters. Obviously, we wouldn't. The Masters is a little more sacred and probably wouldn't allow for that tomfoolery. But I haven't heard it, though, with Rory. Lowry doesn't get any of it. Terrell Hatton doesn't. But obviously with Liv, he's not playing much on the PGA Tour. So it just seems like inconsistent and almost like you're picking on him. You're picking on a guy that maybe looks like he could be picked on. And I don't like that. Mentally tough, doesn't affect him at all, which makes all you guys look stupid that are yelling USA. Like, let's win, right? Let's have one of our guys win and beat him, do it the old-fashioned way. But, great to see. Good to see him win. Scotty's doing what he does. I still think he's going to win a major somewhere down the line this year. Colin Morikawa. Yep, no signs of the back problems this week. Another good finish. I like watching Siwoo Kim play. Remarkable touch and feel around the greens. Can't believe he can't win. Seems like he should be able to crack the nut there. And then Oberg was another name that I'm steadily keeping my eyes on. And plus, I just like saying Ludwig. It's just a great name. Oberg, you gotta love that, man. But solid game. I'm curious to see if his pre-shot routine changes over the years or if he figures out ways to slow himself down. But, same thing with other golfers. He'll have his time, and some of these mistakes won't happen under pressure, and he'll get over the hump. I think about the times we used to talk about Phil Mickelson in the 90s. Oh, he can't win a major. Particular hole he pulls out a driver on where maybe he could have laid up, and he duck hooks it in the water and gets a big number and loses the tournament. He did a lot of that stuff early on, but turned out to be an excellent player and Hall of Famer in his own right there. So great tournament this week. I'm just hoping the crowd stuff sort of settles down, at least for Matt Fitzpatrick. Doesn't make much sense to me, so I'm hoping that changes. But hey, whatever. The guy's tough. He's making a lot of money each week, keeps winning. So maybe he likes it. Maybe it's motivation for him to play well. But, his hard work is paying off. And, I thought about that, how, PGA Tour players, it's one of those tough jobs. And I think about the tour players at the top, and then I think about all the ones that are not at the top and the ones that are on the Korn Ferry Tour or, the women on the Epson Tour or even smaller tours, right? It's tough out there for good golfers. And, I'm just always thinking about those guys, the ones with the work ethic, the ones that put the hours in, hands are hurting, calluses, wrist injuries because you're hitting balls so much, right? Some of these guys really go after it, and they're professionals. And it reminded me of all the other professionals that are out here in this world that don't get noticed and don't get credit for the things that they do on a consistent basis. The PGA professional. I'm fortunate now, right? As a teacher, I sort of make my own schedule. I have my busy times in the summer. But most PGA professionals, work extremely long hours. Some of them have thankless jobs, right? Where the member base, the public always has an argument or a complaint, and long hours. I mean, we're talking, 12-hour days easy, right? Like, especially if there's a tournament, an outing, big event at your club. So, a lot of hard work goes into being a PGA professional. And obviously I paid my dues over the years and have worked those long hours. Very difficult to do with 3 young people. So I'm kind of glad that I've earned, some status and have a more versatility than what I offer. But it takes a while to get there and a lot of bumps and bruises on the way. And, in saying that, it made me think of other jobs, with my mom being an educator. Boy, teachers have it bad, man. Public school educators, really all educators. But without a budget, she's spending money on her kids, giving them extra time throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year. I remember, top athletes working with my mom. If they don't pass the ACT, then they can't get this scholarship, right? And she's working with these kids at 10, 11, 12 after being at school from 6 to 6, right? So I think about teachers quite a bit. And, not only are they working hard and mentoring people that are halfway not listening to them, right? Don't have the maturity to understand what people are doing to help them. Another one of those thankless jobs. And in my mind, I always thought teachers should get paid like doctors and lawyers. We're so worried about our kids, but yet, we don't want to pay much to protect them or to make sure that their influences are the right ones. So scary stuff there, but they're not the only ones. I think of servicemen and women, more thankless jobs, the things that they do and do without our eyes seeing them. And every job is important. And to those that do their job, no matter if we know about it or not, and you're at the top of that line and you're doing the best at it and you're the most reliable, I want to thank you, because you're putting your best foot forward and you deserve more, and hopefully you get it one day. And hopefully these things change that we deal with the thankless job. So shout out to all those PGA professionals and those teachers and servicemen and women. And like I said before, every job that's out there, I've been influenced by people that do everything, from janitors to coaches to teachers to, parents of friends that I have in my circle, right? And they're all important, and they all work hard and do their best to be good influences. And for that next generation of people, you have something that you have to live up to and promise to do once you get in the position to do it. And it's as simple as helping others, and once again, putting your best foot forward, working your hardest to show other people what it looks like. And that's a very important thing that we got to do here. So love the hard worker. I come from hard workers. A lot of my friends are hard workers, and brings me to what we're gonna kind of stop here in a second. And I got a special guest today. We're gonna have an interview with Kenneth Jordan. He's one of my friends from college, from my Tennessee State days. I've been friends for over 25 years. As a consulting company, Blackhawk Consulting Group, that's assisted me in DNA golf instruction. But he's just a remarkable person, and we're going to add that interview right now. Okay, as promised, I have one of my best friends. We've been friends for over 25 plus years.
Yep.
To this day, one of the people that I trust the most. We have a lot of conversations about life and business and everything in between. So for my first guest, I have my best friend, Kenneth Jordan. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Andre Pillow. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of your show, man. This has been a long time coming, man. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yep,
yes,
excited
25, closer to 30. This is year 29.
Yep. 97, 96-ish
yeah,
is when we first met.
Yep, it was August of 97.
Yep.
Met you when we were first. It was during the orientation at Tennessee State.
Yep.
Bumped into we met. He had a red Kango on. I had a blue Kango on.
Yep.
Bumped into a bunch of kids from Vanderbilt, and that's when we discovered we can rap.
Yep.
Well, that's when we discovered we can eviscerate other cats.
The skill of rapping.
Right. So
from our hip hop backgrounds.
Yeah.
And a lot of you have heard the stories of the Kangos that I've worn my whole life for several reasons. Obviously for several golfers that have worn them, Payne Stewart, Calvin Pete, and then also my dad, and also from a cultural perspective, something that we always did, growing up in Lansing, and Kenneth being from Detroit. We're going to call him Ken the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call him Kenneth the rest of the show. But meeting him and you know, both of us having that love for hip hop and it takes a certain you know, element of guts and confidence to step on that mic in a room full of people you don't know,
right?
And spit and you know, something that we shared and saw from each other immediately. And I think that added to our friendship from the beginning. So, cool thing about us, you know, I was obviously there playing golf and in the School of Business. But Ken had something similar to my father. You know, you ended up graduating with a degree in mechanical engineering, correct?
Aeronautical and industrial engineering. That's right.
Aeronautical and industrial engineering. My dad was mechanical. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about that and your experiences at Tennessee State and kind of why you chose that as a school and your experiences there and what it made you out of today.
So it's funny, man, you know, being a Detroiter, you know, inner city kid, and again, that's been a benefit of my life, kind of being in that situation. Growing up, I'm the oldest of 8, big family oriented person, but oddly enough, you know, I was the first one in my family to go away to college.
Yep.
And with the exception of the Michigans and Michigan States, which, you know, as a kid, you always go to those campuses as a way to get introduced to college.
Right.
I wasn't quite aware of HBCUs until, oddly enough, the show A Different World, ABC show A Different World. And that show it just galvanized in me to see the black kids and the campus life and really see something that was a lot different than what I had knew growing up.
Right.
And so when I went to learn more about different colleges, I found out I was trying to go to Hillman.
That's funny.
And then I discovered that Hillman didn't exist, but there was 40 other black universities that did.
Right.
And so throughout, you know, the investigation of it all, I was focused on schools that had an aeronautical or aerospace program.
Okay.
Tennessee State had just kicked off an aeronautical program. And I said, okay, man, I think this is interesting. So I applied to all those different colleges, and not only did Tennessee accept me as a student, they gave me the best pathway to what I wanted to see for success, as well as the environment that I wanted to be in.
Okay.
I knew that
I would agree with that one.
Yeah, I knew that being an inner city kid, I've been around, you know, black students my entire career. So from elementary to middle to high school, I've only been around in inner city or around predominantly minority schools, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, that stayed as a part of my situation. Right. So it worked out super good. It worked out because I bumped into my best friend, man.
That's it.
First day, you know, so it was a good deal. And like I said, my degree was in aeronautical and industrial engineering. Mm-hmm. Got my single engine pilot's license during that time. Did all types of things.
That's crazy.
Including, you know, several albums. I got a chance to experience so much through Tennessee State. Yeah. Great experience, great environment, and what it did was lead to me to have a dual engineering degree and really propel my career.
Did you have an opportunity in high school to do anything like a black college tour?
Yes.
Or anything like that?
Yeah, that actually, well, I wouldn't say it was in high school. It was actually a part of my church growing up.
Okay.
So we did the black college tour, and that's when we first went to Alabama A&M.
Okay.
We went to Tuskegee. We did North Carolina A&T, and then we went to TSU. We only did a day there, but it was more than enough for me to say, okay, this is what I want to do.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep, I had that opportunity as well, and it's one of those things that I think a lot of communities. It's a good thing, right? Right, giving kids an opportunity to see something outside of their community, and you know, for me, I think it was an opportunity to play golf. My best opportunity to play golf. And I think I went down there for the same reasons, right? Trying to you know, understand my culture, learn from my culture, be a part of it, and really enjoy my time there. Of course, I wasn't like Ken; I couldn't keep my grades up and play golf at the same time, so I had to make a life choice and leave after a couple years, and ended up graduating from Grand Valley. So having two experiences in my life, but all through that time, you know, keeping up with my best friend. You know, having lots of conversations about life and everything in between, and I too remember a different world. And I think last week on the pod we were talking about, you know, Bill Cosby as being on my list of my top 10 comedians. I do a list. I'm doing these top 10 lists now just to kind of let people know about what I like and and reasons why. And that was a spinoff of the Cosby Show. Another show that had an impact on a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
in the time it came out. And like I said, there's a lot of shows like that, but that one was a little different. Seeing a doctor that was black, a family that was successful, a beautiful wife that carried herself the correct way, but still was remind me of my mom. Right.
Well, it reminds me of a lot of people, and
Right.
that's one of the things that I think the Cosby Show highlighted that was a lot of other shows didn't highlight, and
Right.
it dispelled a stereotype that was more common than a lot of
Depicted
people knew.
all the time. Right.
So
Right.
similar to the Cosby Show, I'm from a 2-parent family, just like you are.
Yep.
We the oldest of it's 8 of us, and my parents are a big family. It's barely blended. My dad had a child before my mom and him got married, and and other than that, all of us are one same mom, same dad.
Right.
We grew up in that house, and
Yep.
we had those
Fighting
same
and
experiences.
everything.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, while my parents wasn't doctors and lawyers, my dad
Right.
was an auto worker, and my mom worked as a lunch lady when she was a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
We had that same environment, that same love, that same level of care, that same group esteem
Yep.
that comes across there, and that's really
We talk about
one of
that
the
a
things-
lot.
Yeah, group esteem.
Group esteem.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
group esteem is one of the things that carries people going forward. So to that point, the Cosby Show and subsequently A Different World was paramount in showing people that there was a other side to black culture that people like me and you lived in.
Right,
But
right.
it was rarely showcased in the community.
Yeah.
Well, you had more of the the harder living, the good times type deals, and that's also a part of our narrative.
Right,
But
right.
the
A
Cosby
good
Show
part
is-
of it, right?
It's a good part of
Something that like I said, I watched all of them. Fred Sanford Show,
Yeah.
Martin. We can go down the list, right, of all
Absolutely.
these shows that impacted us. And later in this interview, guys, we are going to talk a little bit about some of those shows and different things. But still want to dive into sort of Ken's life and what he does as a professional here. All right, so Ken, want to dive into Blackhawk and kind of explain what you have going on professionally right now.
Okay. So, from starting in 2017, I started Blackhawk Consulting Group, which is a full-service risk mitigation and consulting company specializing in manufacturing of manufacturing companies, automotive, aerospace, industrial electronics. And what we do is we offer solutions to our clients that help take them from the risk mitigating, the red suppliers, a lot of the geopolitical scenarios that are happening now. And we optimize their manufacturing process, their supply chain, and a lot of their risk when it comes to launching new products and new parts. We specialize in advanced technology. So one of the key tenets of Blackhawk Consulting Group is EV, electrification, sustainable energy, AI, and additive manufacturing, which for the folks that aren't familiar with that, additive manufacturing is comprised of 3D printing, which is subtractive manufacturing. Got a lot of people see it where you kind of build things from the bottom up using specified materials to build parts and components.
Right.
Additive manufacturing takes 3D manufacturing, 3D processing, or 3D printing, and expands it to make it not a prototype level product, but commercial level products as well. So additive manufacturing takes that 3D printing, it adds post-processing methodology as well as some level of finishing to turn parts or components into real life commercial manufacturable products.
Okay.
So Blackhawk Consulting Group, we started in 2017. We've grown to 17 global clients worldwide, including some clients like Polaris and Stellantis, automotive suppliers, defense. We do a lot of different things, and
There's a lot of travel involved with Ken, with all the things he has going on.
Yeah.
I know you do a lot of traveling in Minnesota. It's probably
Yep.
more of the Polaris side.
Yeah, more the Polaris side, global,
Yep.
global, everything from China, India, Africa. We also have a joint venture with a company called Vantage Products out of Casablanca, Morocco, where we produce aluminum extrusions.
Okay.
Our side is more of the advanced material and advanced design methodology. But again, we're doing big things, and as the economy and as the geopolitical landscape starts to evolve and take shape, we ourselves are being able to mitigate that and also to navigate those waters to give our clients the best possible chance of being able to have a successful product and parts.
Now, is there any issues right now, obviously, with international activities and us being at war, or even, I don't want to really get into the political side, but do these things affect your business? Do they affect your ability to travel? Ken does travel quite a bit, and we have conversations when he's on his road. I'm always worried about him, especially in times like this. He tells me, don't worry. And he'll send me a video from China somewhere. He'll be in Germany somewhere. And, so just curious as to your thoughts on that. And are you afraid? Should people be afraid? What are your thoughts on, international activity, business, and related travel?
Well, to answer your first question, to start from the top, quite significantly has the geopolitical landscape affected Blackhawk's business. Fear is a different question. Should you fear it? So let me scale back and start with the first question.
Yep.
So yes, the political landscape has definitely impacted our global trade, our global business. One of our biggest clients at the time was a Chinese aluminum extrusion company.
Okay.
That has since changed. I will say that from the United States, we promote democracy, right? Even though internal to the U.S., we have our division within our political landscape. To the greater world, democracy is what drives the United States.
Right.
So with that being said, a lot of other countries outside of the U.S. view our current administration as the voice of American people.
Okay.
So with that being said, some of the rhetoric that is communicated from our administration reflects you, right?
or
exactly.
anyone that represents the U.S. right now.
Exactly.
Right,
So
right.
that does compromise business from as a global consultant and as a global manufacturer. That impacts business because the voice of the United States, or the voice of me as a citizen, is saying things that are counter to my personal beliefs and
Now,
my
if you
personal
have relationships already,
right. Well, that's
what you're relying on, probably.
right. But those relationships are as a businessman. So
Right.
as an American businessman, my relationships can be miscommunicated through the acts of our administration. So again, it's been challenging.
Interesting.
It's been interesting.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm not here. I haven't got my success by
Right.
the dependency on someone's else's voice. I've been able to stand tall on my career, and it's been good.
Right.
Again, one of the I wouldn't call it a delighter, but I will say one of the changes in the path due to the geopolitical landscape has been being able to become more localized, offering a lot more training methodologies, being able to take some of the things that I've seen as a global consultant, bring that back to local manufacturers and companies that are looking to capitalize on the current landscape locally and build business and be able to provide winning solutions.
Now, with that being said, I remember you winning an award recently. I saw it on LinkedIn.
Yes,
I don't know if you want to give me some information on that.
I was Michigan Chronicle, which is a well-known Black owned publication, one of the first Black-owned newspapers and it is the first out of Detroit. I was awarded and nominated Who's Who in Black, Notable Professional Blackhawk Consultant Group and Jordan Analytics, which is Blackhawk Consultant Group's parent company. Jordan Analytics and Solutions is the parent company, and Blackhawk Consultant Group is the DBA. We were awarded that. It was a beautiful opportunity. We were added to the yearly playbook, or the yearly yearbook for Black professionals in Detroit.
Okay.
Also, most recently, I was nominated as the very first Who's Who in Detroit the Wall of Fame for my high school. So Osborne High School.
Congratulations.
Both myself and my wife for our contributions to the school. So we were nominated as the first ever Shining Knights.
As a power couple.
As a power couple.
Right on, right on. Right on.
Fun fact, one of the Parliament Funkadelics, Amp Fiddler, who was a Detroit native and an Osborne grad, he was nominated as posthumously nominated for the Wall of Fame. So we got a great opportunity to share that space with Amp Fiddler, which is a Detroit legend. So
there you go.
We're super happy about that. Oddly enough, I've been playing his album for decades. Didn't know he was an Osborne grad. I knew he was from Detroit, and I knew his contribution. Great. He was the one who introduced the world to Jay Dilla. He introduced Jay Dilla to Q-Tip because they were on tour. So to be honored in the same space as that was amazing. That's great. So that's super cool.
Well, congratulations to you and Melissa. So that's outstanding, man. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Now, also with that being said, you've assisted me, and from the what is it? The the additive manufacturing side.
Yeah.
3D printing. There's some things I have in the works. That
we're excited
to bring pretty soon. Mm-hmm. Working on it right now, scaling it to some different sizes, but a great training aid and a game that I think that a lot of people will be excited about. And that's how life works, right? We network, we work with the people that are closest to us and that we trust the most. And who better to work with in that field than someone I've been friends with for 25 years. So I'm excited about it as well.
Absolutely.
We talk about friends a lot, and Ken and I also talk about family a lot. And Ken's a father, recently became a grandfather.
Yes,
congratulations.
Sir. My little baby, Zaire Omari. Shout outs to my grandson, Zaire Omari. That's
awesome. Yep. Shout out to the grandbaby, screaming out granddad. We love that.
Oh yeah.
And I just wanted to know, like where does family sit for you? As far as importance, you can talk about your parents, you can talk about everyone that shows up to your house for certain events.
Well,
he's a great barbecuer and a great smoker of all meats and all things. So his house is the gathering spot a lot of times for his family. But I just wanted you to touch on the importance of family to you. You can talk about your kids, talk about your wife, talk about everybody in between.
Oh yeah, well I would be remiss if I didn't start at the top, man. My parents. I'm a big family person because I'm a student of the past. My parents kept me around my grandparents, and I was able to absorb a lot of that culture early on. So we talk often about group esteem and what that means.
So important.
I was built into that. It was important. My last name and who I was meant something, right? And it was an honor, but it was also a charge. You respect your name. Your name means everything. Your reputation, who you are. So it's been a guiding light in my life and my career to start out. So when I became a father to my children and became a husband to my wife, it was paramount that I exude that and I build that into my family. So, being, like I said, I'm the oldest at 8. I got my siblings and things of that nature, man. And when we're a tight family, we often talk about how we bicker, but we don't argue. We're never one of those group of people where
no super beefs where we're not talking to anybody for weeks or months all the time.
Yeah, we don't get that situation where I'm coming over at 3 o'clock because at 4 o'clock when my brother get here, we can't be in the same room type situation. We giggle, we laugh, we bicker like kids, like siblings do, but we are extremely tight family. And with that being said, we've raised our children all together. So my 4 boys.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's a blessing, man. My 4 boys, I'm so blessed to have these amazing sons. And I will say I tried to have a girl at least twice, but obviously
all he makes is boys. All I make is girls. You can see how this goes with my 3 girls and his 4 boys and his grandson.
Right. So even my boys make boys. So it's a funny time, man.
You can imagine how I have to hear this all the time.
And I tell him all the time. I tell Dre that while he can be jealous of me having boys, I'm jealous of him because girls take care of dad when they get older. Right. My boys are off in the wind. They gone.
Yeah, they're gonna leave them in a home somewhere.
Yep, and they're not even gonna look at the brochure. The pictures is good. I told my sons when I get 65, I'm gonna have my birthday party on the beach, and they're gonna see this little boat just sitting in the beach. They're gonna give me a cake. I'm gonna blow the cake out and get in the boat. They're gonna be like, "Dad, where you going?" I'm leaving. I'm going out here to fend for myself because
it's better than
being in Shady Crest nursing home and fighting for my damn life every day.
To give me this medicine. Give me all this medicine.
Got me fighting. I am fighting for my life.
Oh man!
But I say that to say, I love my sons, man. They're great men, and that's exactly. And my younger boys, they're good people. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, having a good wife, a good partner is all a part of this.
Yeah.
And she definitely is the rock in the family that helps keep everything together. We're both the oldest in our family, and you talk about us having a house that is inviting and it brings people in, and she's a big part of that. Yeah,
always feel like I'm at home. And
right.
My kids feel like they're at home.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We come from that in that environment, and again, that's part of bringing it back, man. Giving it back to us and building that group of esteem and that village that we come from, right?
Which is even important for me. I mean, there's been times in the past, even going through a tough time in my life with a divorce where I had to rely on people. And Kim was one of the first people with that phone ready to call me, ready to check on me, first person to come here. And, just like him, family, number one, right? Mom and dad for me, they're gone, so I'm so happy that he gets to have, these generational, that's generational wealth in a way, right?
It is. It's the truest.
I have to pass things down, only through stories. But in that same respect, I'm happy I have those stories. Mm-hmm. I have the answers, to the questions and to the puzzles,
right,
and can fill the voids, because they may be left a little bit early. But yeah, man, we got legacies here, and I think we both fight to lead.
Absolutely.
I know very active in his church. Same church you grew up in, you're mm-hmm. active in now. Family still is a major part of the leadership group at the church. Mm-hmm. You want to mention the church name, please?
Prince of Peace Missionary Baptist Church.
There you go.
I would be remiss if I didn't say who I truly do there. So tell people all the time I'm a field agent for the Lord.
There you go.
Because I don't go to church every Sunday, but I pop in and make sure everything. I bring the light to the church.
That's good.
I might not be there, but I'm bringing the light there.
I don't think that I've regularly gone to church since my divorce.
Okay.
Excuse me. Been going more.
Mm-hmm.
Ava, my oldest, my 14, we talked about this in the pod as well. She found a church home that she likes to go to. So
beautiful.
Easter, she took me. So I'm gonna start going more often. But I said, you go enough, man.
Yeah.
You support in the right way. So
but it's a beautiful sixth generation church. Started with my great grandmother Nancy, and my grandfather founded the church.
Okay.
Back in 1943. We getting ready. I think maybe it was 39 or something like that. But I know the church is over 90 years old.
Okay.
Like I said, it's more than just a church for us. It's a ancestral ground, if you will.
Yeah.
We grew up there. The people there are like more than just the pastor. They like my mom and dads and granddads and aunties and uncles. It's just a beautiful situation, and I've raised I was christened and baptized there. My sons were christened and baptized there. My great grandson was just there getting blessed by the Lord. So it's a good thing, man. It's a good family pillar to have.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, man. I want to dive into some other stuff here.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, family and everything. And I think we got a personality. We had a lot of traits that like compatible traits growing up. And a lot of you might remember an old game called Street Fighter 2. And we joked that we're Ken and Ryu. I have to be Ken, and he has to be Ryu because Ryu was whatever.
I'm Ryu. I've always been
Ryu.
Ryu.
We'll let him be Ryu. We let him be Ryu right now. Not on the golf course. I'm that man on the golf course. We gonna
see on the golf course. No, man, you Omni man on the golf course. He's playing at a whole nother level. Like that.
I'm trying.
He's Kryptonian, and I'm just a little lowly human.
I'm trying out there. I'm trying, but with that being said, there's been a lot of movies. Ken, in the comic books.
Oh yeah, I'm a big comic book man.
And obviously music, as we mentioned earlier, hip hop, and so I wanted to start with movies and get a take on your favorite type of movies. Like, what kind of movies do you like? You can break it down from an old school, new school perspective. Like, what do you like now? What do you like, from the past? But just curious on your take, because I like a lot of movies, and we talked about this on one of our top 10 lists. So
I'm excited to get an opportunity to be in one of your top 10s.
There you go.
Because movie wise, we can do this all day. Now, as far as my number one favorite movie period is Back to the Future trilogy.
I figured as much.
That's
the poster on the wall in the office, and
and it's much more. It has transcended a movie to me. It's actually a mantra for my life. I talk a lot about a concept that we have called the Blackhawk effect, and it's all predicated as a little boy from watching Back to the Future and taking care of my future self, treating who Kenneth Jordan was supposed to be in 2025. That movie has allowed me to create my life. Now, getting off that soapbox, because we could talk about that forever.
Back to the Future.
I am a big sci-fi guy, and I'm a big horror movie guy. Now, I say that to say there was, the advent of the comic book movie and stuff is really only 20-something years old. So I would be shortchanging myself if I was like, I'm a comic book movie, which, again, I am a comic book movie person. But
you enjoy them. Yeah.
I absolutely enjoy them. But if we talking about longer range genres, it would be sci-fi and horror. I am a big horror.
Big horror.
I'm a very big horror person.
My daughter too. It's oddly enough.
Oh my goodness,
they share that weirdness.
The '80s gave me some of the best horror movies, and
they were the best.
And here's the thing: us being Gen Xers, we were raised in a generation where we were able to watch movies that by today's standards would be child abuse.
Without a lot of knowledge of people knowing, right? So latchkey kids,
right?
And coming home without parent supervision,
right?
I talked about that last week about finding the Red Fox records and the Richard Pryor records, right? When I was doing my top 10 comedians list.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
you're right. That exposure, and for me, that scared the bejesus out of me, man. I to this day, I don't like horror because I think I saw something too early, and I don't like it, man. I don't want to be scared.
No, I get it. Oddly enough, I need to be scared. Like, I was always that kid that I had to face and beat all my fears, and being scared was the first fear I ever. It was just the first fear. So I was like, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'll tell a quick story. Of all the movies I saw too early, I would say Nightmare on Elm Street was the first, one that made me be like, oh God, what did I do, right?
Yeah.
So we had moved to Atlanta. So again, real quick, I lived in Detroit my whole life with the exception of 2 years. My dad, we got transferred to, my dad took a transfer with Ford to go to Atlanta in 1986. And this was like our family new start. So we went to Atlanta, and it was like an amazing experience. In fact, it was one of the predicators that made me come back down south for college. So I wanted to go back down south because it was such an experience. And my dad and me and my sister, it was real. I can definitely say me and my father, we adventured. So we got a chance it was a really bonding time for me and my father during that time. But the weekend me and my sister got to Atlanta because we ended up having to stay and finish school in '86. My parents went a few months earlier to get established, and they took the younger kids. So after school ended, we went to Atlanta. We landed, and the first thing my dad did was he was so happy that all his family was together, all the kids here. They was just waiting on us. They took us to the VHS store to rent whatever movie we wanted. And me being a little precocious kid, I like to see what I was intrigued by the horror pictures on the VHS tapes. So I seen this scary picture of this. Yeah,
with the hand. Yeah.
I said, let's rent this, Dad. Let's rent this. He was like, okay. He didn't care. He just did. He didn't. By
Good
our standards,
parenting. Good parenting.
the best. He just picked the tape up, the DVD. We rented it, got the box. We get back home. They cooking. It was such a welcoming situation. My family big on when you come home, they welcome you. It didn't matter if we was 6 or 60.
Right.
They barbecue and this celebration.
Yeah.
The boys are home.
Let's time to celebrate.
So we celebrate. We put these movies on, and this is my very first time in another state. My very first time visiting our new home, so it's foreign to me.
Right.
And we watched Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2.
Before you go to sleep.
Before we go to sleep.
In this new spot.
And I'm 7.
Oh, man, yeah. You're 7. 7 years old.
Oh, my God, boy, that was a night, boy. What a night. What a 2 nights, because I slept with my parents the first 2 nights. But I say that to say, that was the catalyst. I am a big.
But you were still curious. You were still curious after that.
Because after I was scared, I said, "Man, I can't be scared. I'm the oldest, man. My family depend on me. I got to get over this."
You had a reason.
So I watched more horror, and I just kept punching it in, just every night.
Oh man, Zapruder film style.
I just had to go in, and then every night it was time for me to go to bed. I used to force myself to sleep because I couldn't go lay in my parents' bed or I would have failed. So I'm just tormenting myself, man. So again, if that lets you into the type of person I am a little bit, it is though. But I cannot have any weakness.
I get it though, and there's a lot of people that like that thrill of those movies. Yeah. My brothers, they used to try to scare me. I was the youngest by a long shot. Like I think they were 7, maybe 9, and 10 years older than me. So when I'm coming up 8 or 9, they in that stage where they just want to scare you and mess with you, be the brothers like that. So we would watch the scary movie, and then, I would go in their room in the basement, and they would turn the lights out, and they would hang up skeletons and act like they were possessed, and start shaking and spitting from their mouth, and Andre, your brother's not here anymore, and start talking like that, right? And they said there was something unique about me. They said anytime the more scared I was, the more I ran at them. I didn't run. I ran to fight, to try to
stop it.
Whatever. Yeah. So very similar to you wanting to go back and back and back. But that fight, tells me like I don't even like horseplay for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't like scary movies. I don't like horseplay. If I have to go there, I'll go there. But anything that makes me want to feel, I don't want to play with those feelings. Yeah. Right. So, but yeah, man. So give me like so Back to the Future is definitely number 1, and I would assume Friday the 13th is another favorite. So my classic. So classics. Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. First, Back to the Future. Probably my favorite of the scary is probably Nightmare on Elm Street. But go ahead. Yep. So I have 3 Paramount favorite movies. Okay. Back to the Future 2. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, because that one was the definitive one. Okay. And Boys in the Hood. All right, I got you. All 3 of those are I call them my canon events. There you go. Because I went to the movies to see all 3 of them, and all 3 of them were Paramounts for sci-fi. Major effect. Right. The sci-fi Back to the Future was future time travel. I have a time travel fetish to this day. I love time. I kind of do. I love time travel. Yeah. And horror, I love the nightmare. I like the monster, the unique monster. Right. Right. So the Freddy Krueger's, the Candymans, those characters that are. Oh my God, Candy. That's another one I saw at the movie theater. And I saw that one at the theater on Halloween. Yeah, it was in October, and I was spending the night at my cousin's house. So again, another situation where it was a horror movie and I was foreign spot, and I had to sleep on the couch in a house that I didn't know in the hood of Detroit on the west side, and I'm an east side hood of Detroit person, so I'm on a different side of town. So it's what's really going on over there? So I say all that to say. And Boys in the Hood was that coming of age, and it was a perfect time because it was at the time where I was segueing into the music. I was becoming a teenager, and all of these influences had came over us. And then at the time, Detroit had really become, we were West Coast adjacent, just because
Detroit felt a lot like what we were seeing from the Color and the Boys in the Hood. The LA environment at that time reflected it was super similar to Detroit, so much so that we couldn't tell the difference. When we first saw Colors, the only reason we thought it was LA is when we heard them say that, and we looked at the Bloods and Crips. Like, we were like, because we didn't have colors, we had neighborhoods. So if you from East 7 Mile, you got, you was this, and if you were from East 6 Mile, you had little crews and little sets, but it wasn't colors at our time. And so, with the exception of the Colors and the palm trees, we thought Colors was done in Detroit. So I say all that to say those are my 3 Paramount favorite movies. I can do top 10s of each different genre.
I'm gonna have to bring you back for those.
Those would be great.
That's something that I'm starting to do a lot more of. I haven't done movies yet.
All right.
There's just so many of them, man. Like I'll have to break it down like that old school.
Yep.
And for me, I like lately I've been looking at the old school trilogies. Like I can't
tell me more.
Like Rocky trilogy.
Oh, classic.
Even with the Creeds in. Star Wars is a big one for me.
Yep, me too. I love them. Again, those would definitely be in my top 5s. Like Rocky.
You're Star Trek too.
No, yeah, I'm both.
Which one? Star Trek or Star Wars? Both.
Yeah, both.
I'm probably more Star Wars personally.
Me personally, Star Trek would be a little bit ahead of Star Wars for me.
I would agree too. More futuristic. Not time travel, but exploration.
And more importantly, Star Trek was optimistic.
Yes, very.
When you think about a lot of like future movies, you see movies that are like dystopic and something
apocalyptic,
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Star Trek was one of those, and Back to the Future 2 was another one, where it was an optimistic future, where in the future, all the Earth has solved their problems.
Yeah,
the racism isn't there.
Right.
We've started to we didn't even consider themselves black or white. It was we're humans.
Evolved
we're Earth.
to that point. Right.
We're people of Earth, and we're out here adventuring and meeting other people. And technology was so advanced, and Earth had peace. Now the Federation had some war, but we as
Klingons wasn't looking at the black person or the black.
Yeah,
human, right?
It was human. You human,
right?
And it was just that type of environment where it made you look forward to the future. And we miss that these days. Like these movies now is like the future is a scary place to want to be, or is made to be someplace that's ominous. I love the movies that capture that optimism, because that's what created me and you. It definitely, a lot of the sci-fi movies that I gravitate to, I've seen reflected in how I do business and the type of technologies that I take to, and the way I see technological advancement, with so much more of an optimistic lens than the AI is going to kill everybody and turn into Skynet type situation. I love to think that.
It's funny you say that. I've talked about this too on the podcast, how movies shaped like my belief system in a way, where like I got hope because of I'm the hero in the movie that deals with the whatever struggle, and I have to overcome it to reach the mountain, right?
The Rockies,
especially right. They can play that song to this day, and I'm ready to go outside and ready to go right now, right?
Hey, that was my running song.
Oh, no doubt.
Remember when I was doing the marathons?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Run through that.
Yep.
That was
and there's so many of those examples. Especially from an old school perspective, we talk about the Shaw Brother movies.
Oh my goodness!
Right. We talk a lot about Bruce Lee,
and we could have a show just ourselves on all of the.
We might have to do that too. But like now, obviously, I'm really into movies like Sinners. We've had several discussions about how good, how great that movie was.
Amazing.
From a historical standpoint,
from a genre bending standpoint,
right?
From a cinematic, technical standpoint, that surreal montage scene. I know everyone has talked about it. I'm sure ad nauseum for Oscar week, but the technicality behind how that was done in the one shot. Oh my God. And again, we talk about movies. We talk about it from more than just a fan standpoint. I mean, well, more than just a audience standpoint. We like
the creativity behind it,
the sound effects, the
everything.
Yeah.
So, even Quentin Tarantino's another one that we talk quite a bit about.
Right. The dialogue.
Like Django and
dialogue heavy movies where exposition isn't pushed into it or forced.
Right. Which we're running out of that. We're not, you know, I know the tablets and the swiping and the way people are they can't sit down and I read something the other day about that, like how people have 500 and something thoughts in a time frame where they used to only have 100
because they were busy. They were busy,
correct. And your minds are in so many different places at once. It's hard to focus on anything or get anything accomplished. And the movies are reflecting. Every time I take my kid to a movie, there's less and less there, right?
Yep.
So it's interesting to see the change in that, and that's one of those things about being a Gen Xer that, you know, having the ability to do some technological things and deal with computers, but also to grind and not call for help when I get a cut on my hand because I don't have a phone and I'm on my bike 3 miles away from my house, but I shouldn't be.
Right.
We
used to have the problem solve on the fly. And
correct.
That's something that has led us to where we are today.
We are now. Yep. And trying to get that into our children as well.
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, give me some comics. I'm not big into comic books. I was big into, you know, the conversion of, you know, the comic into the cartoon. So like, you know, X-Men would probably be my biggest.
Okay.
You know, Transformers, more cartoon first, you know, base. Ninja Turtles, that would be the one where you got me.
Yeah.
You know, Ninja Turtles comic, that was my thing back in the 90s. Still is to this day.
Yeah.
But you go ahead, man. Let me know.
Yeah, I'm a big, we a big comic book person, man. So a lot of new runs going. If we want to talk about what I've been seeing from the comic books as of lately, DC has done something really amazing with their Absolute universe.
Okay.
Super cool storyline. I'm not going to get into too much there, but I impressed your audience to check that out, man. It's a good twist on the Batman, the Superman, the Wonder Woman story, the Flash, the Green Lantern story, where they come up in a different era. So again, when you ask me about comic books, I'm not a Marvel person or a DC person or Image person. I'm a comic book person.
Right.
Similar to movies, you tell me a story that keeps me engaged. Tell me something that feels good, even if it's not original. Make it feel original, you know. I had plenty of macaroni and cheese, but if you make it right, you can separate yourself from the other macaroni and cheeses I've had.
Now, speaking on that, now when you were like, what was it like? Did you get a lot of comic books as a kid? Was it something that you did routinely or regularly?
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm glad you asked me that. I started out again. That was one of my favorite things about growing up. Like being an inner city kid, we did a lot of things to try to, you know, to break the monotony of being in the inner city. And we had a comic book shop in the inner city that was like awesome.
Right.
And we would go there. It was like a mile walk and it was like an adventure. We would go there and go to the comic book shop. It was called Comic Kingdom on Gratiot, right off 6 Mile. Rest in peace, Comic Kingdom. And they were so inviting, man. It was one of the few spots a bunch of black kids would be in. Right. And it was a white owner, but he invited us. He was so cool. And you know, he would tell us what the new comic books was. My first comic book that I bought as a kid was the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man #1 that introduced Venom. And guess what I did?
I threw it away.
No, I cut it up.
Oh man!
I cut it up because
put it on your wall.
Yeah, I did the whole mural stuff and the little. Oh my dad was so mad at me. He was like, "Boy, what are you doing?" So comics
like the Jet magazines back then.
I did that. It was the Jet magazines. It was pinups and Spider-Man. I'm like, boy, I really did. I should have not cut that up. And my father again,
wouldn't have to be in a consultant right now if you still had that man. I'm just
I'd probably still be a consultant, but I'd be a consultant. I'd be consulting a whole different way, buddy.
That's right.
I would definitely be pulling up to my trainings.
Worth some money.
But it's a legacy thing too. So my father taught me how to read using comic books.
Okay.
He was a Marvel dude. He had I remember reading Thor and Iron Man before they were popular. For those who are comic book readers, they knew that Iron Man and Thor were second tier comic book characters in our era for Gen X. Mostly everything was Spider-Man, X-Men, the Hulk, things like that. Those were like Paramount Marvel characters.
Right.
Iron Man and Thor were somewhat secondary characters. So to see them get their rise in the MCU the way they did is like super phenomenal.
I had one friend big on Iron Man early on in life.
Yep.
But,
And that was us. So again, comic books was a great outlet for us. And over the years, I've collected probably about 1,500 to 1,600 comic books. I'm looking for some buyers because I got some pretty nice collections. I got the whole Death of Superman series. I got a lot of stuff, man. And that's part of my whole. If you guys know, well, Dre would tell people when we were in college, I was the cool one, right? I was the cool one. But I'm secretly a big nerd, man. He one of the few people who know both sides of me. So when I was in college, I was Ken with the gold K. But people
hanging down right about here. Boy always had it on his neck.
Yep. And
I think I had this same one from my dad. My dad gave me this little chain that I got on my neck. I got a bigger one, but some of you guys have seen that one too. But the little one came from my dad. It's the one I had on my neck.
Yep.
I was proud of that little chain too.
No,
still on my neck.
Yeah, we used to be at campus getting wild, man. But so
good times.
Good times. So big comic book fan.
So with all that being said, like I said, I think my love. Now, you weren't really big into sports much, and I think sports is probably the only difference maybe we had there. Because for me, movies, and I have a joke. There's not a movie that I can't watch. I can watch a lot of movies.
Yeah. A
lot of stupid movies. I can get into them, find the storyline why they did it. Makes me appreciate the better movies more.
Mm-hmm.
But they've shaped what I think my opinion and, like I said, my drive and where I want to go in life. How about you?
Well, as far as how movies have shaped my life to a great, and it's funny you say that. I'm the type of person that I could watch any movie as long as it's something. I tell my wife, if you can get me to watch The Notebook if you put it in space. I will watch Wuthering Heights if somebody is a werewolf in it. You want me to watch it? If you can put any monster or something in it, I will watch it. Now I will say this: one of my favorite movies that is not sci-fi, action, or horror is, and again, this is a shameless plug, and I got a good rebuttal for this. My favorite non-actiony movie is The Devil Wears Prada. I know I catch it, but hold on, drift with me, man. Hold on, ride with me. The Devil Wear Prada is.
It's a business.
It is. It's Star Wars Episode 4 for women.
I'll have to go. I've seen it. I have to go watch it again. They got a sequel coming.
Yeah, I know.
It must be Episode 5.
That's what I'm saying. It's called Devils Wear Prada's The Emperor Strikes Back.
It is, isn't it?
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you.
Oh wow.
The way Miranda converted, I forget who.
The black got black hair.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
But the way she converted her was exactly how Darth Vader converted Luke. I mean,
dark side.
Yeah, or how she tried. Devils Wear Prada. Is a Star Wars Episode 6.
They've said, ironically, side note to that comparison, they've said that Harry Potter is really Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
It's the same line. He was raised by his uncle.
Yep.
He saved by something that took him somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of themes there, man.
So again, how these movies have shaped my life is, like I said, the Blackhawk effect is based off of Back to the Future. The way Marty found out who he was in the future, and then made choices to do that. Made inadvertent choices to forego a future that was less than desirable.
Right.
Was something that stuck with me. I created the Blackhawk effect based off that. Star Wars is a big one for me, man, because Star Wars told me about the dark side in a way that was like super fantastical. It also told me one thing. One of Yoda's phrases stuck with me to this very day. There's no such thing as try. Either you do or you don't.
Love it.
That has
Yep.
been a mantra for my life the whole time, and I teach it to my kids. Try is your first excuse. When you say I tried, no, you didn't.
Yep.
It's only two things. It's do or you
Success
don't.
and failure, right.
Yeah, you either
Right.
you do or you don't.
Right.
And if you are doing, then trying is built in there.
Right.
If you're not doing, then trying is your first excuse.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I use that a lot. So again, I could go on and on about
I
how
love
movies
that.
have impacted me, but though that
And I would agree, Star Wars is up there for me too. And even there, you know, you relate that same thought with faith, right?
Yeah.
Like some people believe faith is just, you know, praying and oh Lord Jesus, help me, help me, help
some
me.
magical thing happens.
But
it's-
God gives you that ability to do or not do, right?
And you
He's
push
going
us-
to give you the ability to do, help
Absolutely.
and assist you with that,
Yeah.
right? If that's your mission and where you want to go,
But you have to push yourself forward. You have to prepare
Correct.
yourself. The universe gives you what you ask for.
yeah,
Whatever you subscribe to. If you subscribe to BS, then the universe is going to give you what you want.
that's something. Even as a golf instructor, or even the game of golf, right? Like it is a sport where your attitude, you know, it has a lot to do with your outcome.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's a lot of excuses. You can even put the wrong score down. Hey, give me a 5. I know I thought I had a 6, but give me that putt and I'll take the 5.
Right.
Right. And then that gets you in trouble. And later on, when you really have to perform, you can't. So, you know, I one of the things too, you know, I talk about learning how to fail. And that's one thing, the other side of those movies, like a lot of those characters, you see them struggle. You know, Ken's big into Goku. What help me out, man?
Dragon Ball.
Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
I'm a
Z.
Dragon Ball
I
Z
miss
guy.
the Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Yeah, you love
but
the Dragon Ball
I
Z.
love when they talk about the chambers and when they go into the chambers and come out, you know, ready for the next battle, stronger and ready. And it's something that
and how every win is predicated on some failure. Like
Correct.
Goku gets beat, and then he goes through a chamber and trains and becomes stronger than he was before, and comes out and faces the big bad. Another good point of Dragon Ball is that all of Goku's friends were his enemies at one point. They were his biggest. They were his strongest opponents, and not only did he beat them, but he did something worse. I mean, he did something more valuable. What's the best? What's the only way to destroy your enemy?
Befriend them.
Make them your friend.
Yeah.
Make them your friend, and that's what he did. Every one of them people not only became his friend, but they end up fighting for his side for good.
Yeah.
And they all go through the training. I call my basement the chamber, the forge for my boys. When they come home, they get to come in and charge up. The world gonna go out there, and when you go out in the world, it's gonna kind of beat you up.
Right.
But when you got home, you can come home and charge up and heal and get yourself ready to fight more and fight harder and be better than you was when you left. So again, those are some of my greatest things. So tell me about yours, man. I know you got some.
Man, there's so many. You mean as far as like movies?
Yeah.
Boy, so many. You know, there's a lot of golf movies in there. You know, like if you're talking about as far as motivation, like Bagger Vance.
I know that's your one. Yeah, I know you.
That one right there, man. And mine tend to make you want to cry. Not necessarily that one, but that one can get me too. But movies that you know, like I said, they show growth. The main character, you know, went to war, has an injury, used to be a great golfer, and he's got to find some things. One of my things that I teach kids all the time, we talk about the field, and being in the field, and not letting the world, you know, affect your focus on what you're trying to do. And there's a big scene about talking about that focus, and you know that's a great example. You know, ironically, there's a lot of Rocky ones. I mean, like I said, that caught me off guard. When my brothers tells me that I used to have the gloves on and walk around like I was Mr. T, like, I can't be beat. I won't be beat. And then I start diving into it more, and then realizing that, man, there's so many quotables, right?
I gotta ask you a question. I know you.
go ahead.
I know you're interviewing me, but I gotta ask you this question.
Yeah, please do.
That's because you're my best friend, and I know you're gonna give me a good answer.
I'm gonna get excited, probably.
Rank your Rockies.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm not gonna go into creeds. I won't do creed because I know that gets
can't even
sticky.
do it, man.
You got it. You can. Yes, you can. I believe in you. Give me your.
So that's 1 through 5.
Yep. 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Hey, yo, Tommy. Tommy Gun. You got Tommy Gun. Which one's 6?
It's Rocky.
You got
You got Rocky. You got Rocky Balboa. It was the last one. So you got Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
Rocky 3 is a Clubber Lane. Rocky 4 is the Russian. Rocky 5 is Tommy Morris. Yeah, Tommy Gunn.
And then Rocky Balboa was
then,
when he refought. Was it Spider?
Oh,
Rico.
the young
And
cat.
He had his dad. He had his dad help him.
That's number 6. That was number 6.
Yeah.
I ain't like that one. So that's 6.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
5. Number 5 is 5. Dang, man, this is tough, man.
I love it. Because I'm a big
don't
Rocky
even
fan.
know,
I have to rank
dog.
it. I was forced to rank mine a couple months ago with my best friend Marlon, my other best friend Marlon.
Man, let me see. Hold on. 6 is 6. 5. Oh man. Oh, this is tough,
Right,
man.
I'll
So hold on, because we're gonna do this based on like meaning in life and like motivation. That's the hard part.
Absolutely.
That's why we're ranking them like this. Dang, Mick died. When did Mick die? Mick died in 3.
Mick died in 3.
Oh man, Mick died in 3.
Yep. Clubber
This
Lane.
is tough. All right, we're gonna go with number 1. He broke the meat up, man. He broke the meat up.
Now that's a Paramount moment because everybody who been around meat has wanted to sock some ribs. To see if you can break
That's
them.
what I'm saying. That's crucial. That's crucial.
Yes.
All right, we getting somewhere. Hold on, we getting somewhere.
All right,
we
give
getting
it to me.
somewhere. We gonna go. Dang, this is tough.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
This
What you
is
gonna do?
really tough. All right, we gonna go. Dang.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask the hard question. See, that's why I'm not interviewing.
So this is the list.
hard
This is going a lot longer. I apologize, Ken. I didn't want to keep it this long, but
It's my fault. I talk too much.
But I'm
I've
glad,
been talking
man.
all day.
This is gonna be good stuff. So all right, we'll do the Rocky movies. This is 6 is 6.
Yep.
Only thing I liked about it was the fight scenes because it's consistent with the Rocky movies. And if y'all don't know, Rocky movies have some of the best fight scenes.
And the montages. Don't forget about the montages.
Oh, all day. And like I said, from a comic book or fake world perspective, they did a lot of things right in all of them.
Absolutely.
6 would be the worst. I put that at 6.
And then 5 would be
5 would be next.
Yep.
But 5 wasn't horrible.
I agree.
5 wasn't horrible.
I think the whole
And I
Tommy
liked the whole-
Morrison
I liked it.
situation was
He said-
blown out of proportion.
A little
And
bit, yeah.
They had the fake
Don King.
the fake Don King.
Yeah.
I love that.
Which was good.
I love that.
Said, hit me, I'll sue. He said, touch me, I'll sue. And he punched him anyway. So that one's still, like, it's 5. That's why it's probably my favorite series.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's 5. Tommy Gunn, that's when he tells Tommy Gunn, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, you gotta, sometimes you get knocked down, you gotta get up. Yeah. So that's,
right.
I'm getting excited. So, all right, so that's 5. Number 4
Yes, well, here
is
we
going to
go.
be number 1.
Okay.
I'm putting 4. Is the first one.
Yeah.
Rocky 1 is
Okay.
going to go at 4.
Okay.
You get the storyline, good storyline, but it was a little grapey. I'm a little strange sometimes.
Okay.
It was love, but it was old school love, and he kind of, hey, come over here. And I didn't like it. It's a little strange. So we're going to throw that one out.
All right.
The Mick and him, I love all that. He ate the eggs,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the training. We figure out what it is there. All right, then we're going to go, that's for number 3, we're going to go Rocky 2. Rocky 2.
So you would put. So you go. Okay. You're gonna put
Rocky 2.
All right.
Well, let me get through the list and then we'll chat about it. So that's at 3. 6. Okay, and then at number 2, we got Rocky 3.
So hold on. What was 3?
2.
What was 3?
3 was Rocky 3.
Okay. 3 was Rocky 3.
No, wait.
Yeah.
No, 3
Was Rocky 4.
Rocky 2 was Rocky 2.
Okay. 3 was Rocky 2.
So number 6 is 6. Number 5 is Rocky 5. Number 4 is Rocky 1.
Okay.
Number 3 is Rocky 2.
Okay.
Now
That's the rematch with.
that's the rematch with Apollo.
Yep, okay.
Right, which was a great fight scene. I'm still mad that they tried to. Apollo still ain't lose. If you with real life, you wouldn't have lost. So that's why it's not higher.
And also, he didn't lose when they fought by himself.
Correct.
All right, go
correct.
ahead.
So that one's there for a couple of political reasons. Then 3. So at number 2, you got Rocky 3.
Okay, Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
What's the prediction for the fight? What's your prediction?
Pain. I can't be beat. I won't be beat. He a chump. Rocky a chump. So if I walk,
you want to be with the winner. You want to be with the winner.
Right. Come over here. Right.
Come over here. I'll make you feel real good.
He was tripping, man.
That's what did it.
He was tripping, man.
Hey,
he was acting a fool.
If you want to get the Rocky, mess with Adrian.
Yeah,
you want to.
You did. Start talking to him.
You talking to my girl?
And he beat him. He beat him.
But
fair and square.
Clubber, whooped him first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Club whooped him.
Yeah, okay.
And he wanted that title, and he got that title.
Forced him to push his lane.
Yep. And like we said, Mick dies in that one, I believe.
And another good quotable from 3. There is no tomorrow.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. From your wife? That's from his wife, right?
No, that was from Apollo. His wife was
that's
already
right.
mad.
No. Yeah. So that's the other reason why. That's the other reason why that's so high, though. The whole, once again, man, from a golfer perspective, a mental perspective, like even losing my parents, I used some of this. It came on one night after my father had passed, and there's no easy way out.
Mm-hmm. The montage.
Got
me want to run.
Man.
I've been trying to run on the beach for years because of that. I still can't run on the beach.
Look, let me tell you. So that whole training, he's not into it. You're right. He yells at him.
And that still wasn't enough. It wasn't until
he beat him in the sand race, and that whole. And then what got him out? His wife got him out.
It was his wife. Yeah. Adrian was like, dude, what we gonna do? Either we doing this or we not, baby. Yep. And he looked at her and she was like, you know what? Let me go on and get tight.
Yep, and it was on from there. It was on from there. So that was at number 2, but number 4, especially for '80s babies, man.
So your number 1 is Rocky 4.
Number 1 is Rocky number 4.
I love
now.
This.
My girlfriend hates this, but because we were watching it the other day, talking about the political aspect, and now they were throwing in a lot of Russia.
Oh yeah, it was a whole lot of
Cold War.
My boy.
But that's why I like it. G.I. Joe did a lot of that too sometimes.
But hold on, Rocky 4, in my humble opinion. And again, I don't want to piss anybody off because I know there's a lot of serious Rocky fans. But Rocky 4.
We about to fight, man.
Rocky 4 had the best montage scene.
Ever. That's why
when he was in that snow with the
man. You're in Russia. You're not America. Man.
And he had the Sherlin on you. For Detroiters, you got the Sherlin. He was out here with the Sherlin, lifting the what? He got the doggone. This dude chopping wood in the polar Arctic. And
with them following him,
and when it came out, it was cold in Detroit at the time, so it was like he is working. Why does Russia look like East Side of Detroit?
Right? He had all y'all outside running. Y'all was all outside running through y'all rock.
Everybody had frostbite on their toes back in 87, 88. Man, look.
Like you said, to this day, that the music it affects me to this day.
Yep.
That's the one thing about. At number 4, the first movie when he runs up the
mountain,
the whole Philadelphia staircase and all that. But I don't know, man. And like I said, it took me a while to get to this is my favorite series.
It was mine from the beginning. Me and my best friend, our other best friend, Marlon.
I'm trying to think of other ones.
Was a big fan of Rocky. We used to watch Rocky. He used to do like you when he used to try to avoid going to the club. Hey, Ken, sit down and watch these Rocky movies. Like, man,
come hang out with me, man. Just chill out with me. That was my thing. I didn't like to go to a club all the time. It costs too much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I can't remember. There's a couple other series that I really like. We might have to do that on another.
Yeah, let's come back and do that because that's gonna be a great one, man. I'm excited about that. I can talk about movies and all of that stuff. I prefer to talk about that.
But it's just funny because, like I said, it had an impact on my life. Like I said, sports is the other thing that I could turn on and think about times that affected me or different events that I've had, playing sports. But I'm just hoping that these kids are getting something out of their entertainment. Like I don't know nowadays with social media and what we see.
Yeah.
do they even have heroes or fans? Or they want to be like anybody? Do they want to be like their star basketball players? Do they go out and try it in the playground? I don't know if we're getting a lot of that anymore.
Well, again, and it's funny. Me and Dre have a interesting perspective, especially for me to be the guy with the older children.
Right.
I have like this youthful perspective, whereas Dre has definitely turned into the old fogey of the group. These young kids, I'm like, no, they're gonna be okay, man. I've seen enough.
I believe that,
and being able to grow it and build it. So I'm excited to see what the youth give us, man.
We'll be all right. Either way, it's in their hands. If not, we'll be dead.
Nope, we got grandkids, man. It skips a generation.
Yeah.
If the kids don't get it right, we just take the grandkids and make it work through them. It will always work out the right way.
Well, you're off to the great start there with one grandbaby already.
Oh yeah, man.
And once again, man, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much,
all your successes and everything that you've been up to. Look forward to doing more work with you with DNA and Blackhawk and
let me say something if we go wrap up, man.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Dre Pillow, man. I as your friend, your best friend, and being down with you since '97, man, I am so proud of what you've been doing. Everything from the DNA golf stuff, the podcast, your being a GOAT, being the director at Blyfield and golf instruction and all the things you've done, man, not just for black people, but for the sport of golf itself. It's an honor to be able to have watched your journey. It's an honor to be able to be your friend. I tell people all the time, you represent what group esteem is, right?
Thank you.
When you got people in your network that when you pick up the phone and you ring their line, they call you right back or they answer immediately, or, you know what I'm saying, when you look up, they are doing something phenomenal and fantastic that not just make you proud to know them, but also pushes the lane and tug at your coattails. So you've been the wind in my back for years, and it's always an honor to be able to be a part of these adventures with you because you're dynamic. You're definitely a trendsetter, and you do things that a lot of other people are scared to do. So you should be proud of yourself, man. And it's always an honor to be a part of anything that you do. You always got Kenneth Jordan as well as Blackhawk and every iteration of our organization. You have our full support. So we always here for you, man.
Iron sharpens iron. So
that's
that's kind of our goal and what we have to do. We just got to keep using each other as assets and learn from each other.
Yeah.
And those Marco Polo conversations, man, they do me good. So keep doing exactly what you've been up to, and keep doing it.
Will do.
And I look forward to talking to you more, man.
Let's do it again soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for stopping by. Really enjoyed having you over. It's always good to have friends, especially ones that are, in business and leading in the fields that they're in. He's been a big influence on me, and iron sharpens iron. So it's good to have people and colleagues and friends that can share their life experiences and their business experiences, and that's sort of what the DNA Golf and Life podcast is all about. Not only are we here to talk about golf, but also life, business, and everything in between. So thanks, Ken. Look forward to seeing you again soon. So to wrap up, let's get to our key segments that we do weekly. And we're going to start off with our lessons learned segment. And, I always think about my past and things that had a positive influence on me. And that sort of starts my lessons learned or mistakes that I've made and that kind of angle as well. But I thought about sports and why sports are so important for young people. I played everything growing up, watched a lot of karate movies and Bruce Lee movies. So I was in karate classes and taekwondo classes. I remember watching a movie called Jim Kata. Look up Jim Kata. It's a movie that, guy's a gymnastics guy that has to fight like a ninja in this field over in a crazy place in Europe. Crazy movie. But that had an influence on me, so I wanted to do gymnastics. So I was in gymnastics classes, basketball, football, whatever it was. My parents exposed me to it. And those experiences really shaped and molded me. The positives, the negatives, the hard work, the consistent practicing, the games, the good and the bad. But I think that those experiences are something that are very individual and they're very important for young men and women to have as they go through life. So one story, I'll tell a couple of them here, but I remember being probably about 10 years old. Maybe I was 9 or 10 years old. But I had a chance to play football, flag football. Wasn't able to play tackle yet. And, we had a local team. My dad's frat, Kappa Alpha Psi, had a team, the Kappas, and the Kappa League, the team was always good, one of the best teams in the area. And they always had great coaches and all the fraternity brothers in the area that had, football experience and coaching experience would participate and help these kids and mentor these kids. And so they always had a great program. So couldn't wait to play for them. But I couldn't play. It's too little. And so I played flag football for a team called the Vikings. And that was a wonderful experience. I remember every practice. I remember being told that we have to run out to the oak and run back. And in my mind, even at a young age, this is where character comes in. I always wanted to be first. Where there was a kid that moped, I don't want to run out there. It was a hot day. I didn't care. I wanted to be first. I wanted to beat everybody. If you read stories of Tom Brady or even Michael Jordan, or even some of the other greats, they have a need to win, a desire to compete. And I had that. And I would be first almost every time. And mind you, I'm one of the smallest people on the team. And, we are wearing the pads and helmets, but it's flag football. And, I had a great season. I played DN. I think I kicked for most of my teams in one way or another. I was always punting or kicking or doing something. And at the end of the year, I remember winning 2 awards. I won an award for my work ethic, hardest worker award. And then I won Defensive Player of the Year, right? And didn't expect to get it. And mom and dad were in the stands. My brothers were there. And I just remember being so excited that I achieved something. And I remember that hard work that got me there. And to this day, I still work just as hard because of that success that I had early on. I'm not afraid of failure. You shouldn't be afraid of failure. If you don't succeed at your dream, okay, let's remold it or keep fighting for it, right? But when you have successes, especially at a young age, they impact how everything else in your life is. A lot of young people have anxiety. If they can overcome that anxiety at younger ages, they'll be able to overcome anything, any challenge that comes in front of them later on in life. And I think sports provides that opportunity to work through some of the things that you don't know, some of the things that you don't understand, and also to see what it's like to be successful at something. So that was one of those times. Another one of those times, I wasn't a mentally tough kid. Had a lot of talent, but wasn't a very mentally tough kid. And I remember being in a golf tournament. It was a qualifying event to go to a state tournament here in Michigan. And it was at Groesbeck Golf Course, a small city golf course in Lansing. And lo and behold, at the end of the 18-hole round, I ended up tied with 2 of my buddies, Justin and Adele. And cool thing about, growing up in my situation, there was at least 6 or 7 kids that would always play golf together, and parents would, carpool us, pick us up, drop us off. So it was fun to have buddies on the golf course, even in these tournaments where I could see, one guy in the fairway over there and wave at him, this guy over here and wave at him. But lo and behold, at the end of this 18-hole round, we all were tied. I think we were all tied with 76s. And my friends knew my weakness. They knew I wasn't a mentally strong person. They could talk me out of anything. They could get me angry. They could get me worked up. And on this particular time, when we're seeing all those scores go up, we're all tied. Playoff? It's us 3, and there's another guy too. Oh, Andre, you might as well not play. That's what Justin says to me. And then Adele's like, yeah, man, you might as well not even play. And they knew that the more they said that, the more it would get me angry or upset or whatever it did. But this particular time, I was angry, but somehow I controlled it enough, or learned how to focus that energy in the right place and not let it destroy me, but let it add energy to what I had to accomplish. The hole that we had to play was a super short hole, dog leg left, up a hill with out of bounds all the way around an elevated green, real small city green. And we all hit our shots, all in the fairway. We all have a wedge in our hand. And I think first Adele went, and he hits his shot, goes over, trouble. Justin hits his shot, goes over, trouble. Now I'm up, hit my shot, adjusted a little bit, lands on the green. So now they both are dealing with the hazard situation, and I'm putting for birdie. I end up making par. They end up making bogey and double bogey, and I end up going, on that qualifying trip to the next step. The next tournament was in Ludington, Michigan. So I remember that, and it once again, it was a reminder that I can accomplish anything. And to this day, I can look at myself, other sporting events, other local sport things that I saw when I was present, as reminders or indicators of so what it looks like to succeed, right? What it looks like to succeed, what it looks like to fail correctly, to have good sportsmanship, even to see someone fail and then later on in life succeed. That's another big thing with sports. So I just want to encourage parents to allow kids to play sports. We're starting to do it more in my family and more my kids. It's very hard for me in the summer to get them opportunities. I want to be present. But once again, being a golf professional, I'm pretty busy in the summer. But they all play golf. My middle child is running track this year. Cheer, soccer. There's a lot of activities that we're participating in and looking to do more of them in the future. So lessons learned is just a little bit about why sports are so important and, so beneficial for all kids. So I recommend it. And don't even get me started on the coordination part and the healthy lifestyle part as well. So many benefits to why kids should be playing sports. All right. Now for your quick tip. Quick tip is real easy today. I want you all to consider improving your golf grip. There's a lot of information out there on grips, and it's something that I've gone away from in the last little bit here. And I think it's one of those things that I've seen adjust. And as long as I get people to understand what the face is doing, I'm not getting too technical with the grip. That's starting to change. I'm understanding how important it is. And I was listening to Lee Trevino the other day, and he was talking about how, if I ask the golfer, how many club faces are there, right? I got a putter back there, but I don't think that's going to work. Let's grab this here. Oh. Let's hope we don't fall or hurt ourselves when we reach back there. But, he's holding the golf club, and I'm just going to grip it down here so maybe we can see this. So he was holding the golf club, and he was saying, how many faces are on here? How many faces do we have? And of course you'd be like, one, right? And he's like, nope. We have one. We have two. This matches up to that. There's another way to square up that club. Then we also have that backhand, right? So that's three club faces. So when I heard that, and I'm always evolving and processing the importance of this, that, and the other. I still want you to be an athlete first. That's always number one. But the grip is a key. And if I look at that versus all other sports, well, how a pitcher holds that baseball is very important. How a basketball player holds that basketball is very important. Same with grip pressure and, someone who's fencing, right? Someone who's throwing darts, someone who's playing pool. So grip and grip pressure are very, very important. Now, with that being said, I still think you have a lot of room to play with what you do with that grip. I just want you to educate yourself on, the different types of grips. Since most of us slice, I tend to recommend a slightly stronger grip, at least in that upper hand, which means rather than the palm of your hand facing more up to the sky, it's going to face more towards the grip with your back of your palm facing the sky for strength. And then your right hand or your low hand on the golf club, traditionally speaking, rather than sitting palm up for weak, hand turned up a little bit more, the hand would be underneath with the palm, I won't say underneath, but with it more closer rotating towards the sky, okay? So I just tell people, I want you to determine the strength of your grip, and mainly that upper hand, that lead hand. And 9 times out of 10, you guys will have a weak hand that doesn't have a lot of control or ability to move the club in several ways for versatility. And if we strengthen that grip up, get it more in the fingers rather than the palm, a lot of times that leads to room for error for most golfers. So look for videos about grip. I have several on, my website, on my, Facebook page, my YouTube channel, so please just look for those grip videos and take a peek at how we use the finger gun and, different types of grips on tour to get you, more educated on what you can do with your grip. I think of weaker grips like a Ben Hogan. I think of neutral grips like a Tom Watson or a Tiger Woods. And I think of strong grips like a Matt Fitzpatrick. I feel like Min Woo is a little on the strong side as well. Min Woo Lee. I got to look at him a little closer. But we have all those options on tour. So that means that in my school of thought that all those are options that work. And once again, that's why I haven't bottled people up with what I think the grip should look like for the last couple of years. But we're going to get more into that. So just make sure that the grip is in your fingers. And strength is important. Having a stronger grip, not a weaker grip. And the versatility to move it everywhere, and your grip pressure between a 1 and 10 should be closer to like a 7. 7 no more than 8, right? Holding on to the club, but not a vice grip. So for your golf tip, quick tip of the week, think about your grip, your golf grip pressure, grip strength, and improve that for better ball contact. Okay? Now, last but not least, Golf Tech Corner. And since I am a PGA professional and we constantly talk about instruction, and I do a lot on online, social media videos, YouTube videos, personal golf instruction videos, which are my favorite, online instruction. So how do you guys feel about online instruction? And I mean that more of the individual lessons. Have any of you considered it? Nowadays, it's simple as you explaining in an email what you do and sending over some videos, and all I have to do is analyze those videos and put them in my on form and come up with an idea of what you're doing wrong and an explanation, and we work together to come up with drills and a plan to make you improve. So I'm doing a lot more of that now. Submitting a video, you get something back within 10 business days typically. And it's an easy way for you to get a good start on what you should change, an idea on what you can do, with a little bit of guidance. And a lot of fitness professionals are doing this, and a lot of my clients and members at Blythefield, will have fitness people that they touch base with on a weekly basis, and, very affordable option for some of you that are on the move quite a bit. So think about that. If you're a person that doesn't live in West Michigan, or if you live here and you don't have the consistent time to always get in-person lessons, there's always that option. But what do you guys think about online instruction? And on top of that, what do you think about YouTube instruction and YouTube golf and social media videos? Are you picking anything up? I don't think it's a bad thing. Obviously, you can see one person can disagree with another person. So it's very important to understand what's best for you. And that's sort of my starting point, and why athleticism is important and finishing like a golfer is important. And anything that I tell you, it tends to come from the tour and that model of success. No different than what TPI is selling or force plates or all these things. I'm looking for some common ground that I see in all these players and introducing it to my golfers in a way that's helpful. But it can be dangerous. I don't recommend you go try everything that you see on YouTube. If it's not smart. And if you do, let's do it on the range, not the golf course. But with that being said, I've seen it, and I know it can get confusing as well. And I think going forward, I've made a personal decision not to sell golf, not to always go for the topic that's popular, the topic that you want to hear. let's get back to making it simple, the KISS method, and realizing that golf is not a game of perfect, and it's not complicated, and there's more than one way to hit a golf ball, and we see it. So if that's the case, well, let's examine it. Let me figure out how you process, how you move athletically, how do you feel strong, understand your ailments, and together we come up with some plans here. So, but that's more of a curiosity question. What are you guys doing? Are you guys getting anything from your YouTube videos and social media? Are you seeing a PGA professional? Are you getting some form of online instruction from a corporation or an individual? So just let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, guys, you all have a great week. This is starting to get fun. I really enjoy this. Can't wait to build my studio space rather than being in the golf studio. But I'm really thankful you guys joined me, and thankful to all of my clients that are out there and all my followers. Just hope you guys continue to find your DNA, and I'll help you do it. So have a great day.